One died on Tuesday afternoon in a three-car accident on a US 77 in West Central Junction City. The accident occurred just before 5 p.m. when a 2021 Subaru Outback was traveling northbound near milepost 154 and crossed the center lane and struck a 2009 Infiniti G37. The Infiniti, driven by Caleb Jones Bransford, 21 of Polka City, Oklahoma, struck a guardrail and came to a rest in the west ditch. Meanwhile, the Subaru continued to move, crossing the center lane again, striking a 2019 Ford Fusion head-on. The Fusion came to a rest in the west ditch, while the Outback finally came to a rest in the northbound lane. The driver of the Subaru, April Kulchik, 45 of Junction City, was taken to Stormont Vale in Topeka with a suspected serious injury. The driver of the Ford, 56-year-old Bradley Linton of Enterprise, was pronounced dead just prior to 7 p.m., was taken to Johnson Funeral Home, where next of kin was notified of his death. Everyone was properly restrained in the accident, according to the KHP crash log. Manhattan City Commissioners Tuesday unanimously voted to increase the 2024 budget by more than $2 million, going from an original $23.2 million to $25.3 million. The areas of increase are for employee benefits, fire pension, sales tax, special street and highway, and transient guest tax funds. City staff said that if employee benefits and fire pension balances are negative, then sales tax would be the first line of transfer, but the remaining would come from the general fund. Mayor Susan Adamczyk doesn't want to dip into the general fund.
Statutorily, those two funds need to be fully funded, period. They cannot enter the next year with a negative balance.
Commissioners acknowledge the ongoing challenging with budgeting and forecasting for employee-related funds. Commissioner Karen McCullough said insurance in particular is hard to predict.
Having just met at the law board and looked at the budget, it's really the health insurance issue is very complex, and it's hard to keep them insured and to keep them having benefits. Sometimes it's very difficult to program out for the next year.
The commission held a public hearing as required by law before the vote was taken. Two Ogden men charged with first-degree murder were in court on Tuesday afternoon for a status hearing before Judge John McNish. 20-year-old Aiden Keener and 31-year-old Antoine McNeil were arrested on October 20th and 23rd, respectively, following the shooting death of Don Stovall on the evening of Saturday, October 19th. Both men have been charged with first-degree murder as well as charges for aggravated kidnapping, aggravated burglary, aggravated assault, criminal discharge of a firearm, and interference with law enforcement. According to an arrest warrant affidavit acquired through a Kansas Open Records request, Stovall was shot in the garage that evening and later succumbed. Both men were originally in court in late October prior to Tuesday's hearing. McNeil's attorney, Julie Effenbeck, informed McNish that she had recently been put on the case and she requested a continuance for another preliminary hearing. Keener's attorney, Joshua Seiden, agreed with Effenbeck's request, and Judge McNish scheduled another status hearing for Tuesday, December 17th at 1 p.m. in Riley County District Court. Both men were not present in the courtroom and presided via Zoom from the Riley County Jail, where they remain confined on bonds of $1 million. As budget season nears for RCPD, Riley County Law Board members began the conversations on strategic planning for next year at their monthly meeting. One of the areas of focus was once again funding for school resource officers, something that was limited in this year's budget. Chair John Mata says that funding models for SROs in different police departments should be looked at.
I know one particular topic that we've talked about, both myself and Vice Chair John Ford have talked to the director about as the school resource officers. Barry brought that up for as well. One of the things when the three of us had the discussion was to also look out at other police departments and how they work their funding, because I think that would be something good for the new board to have when that discussion happens.
County Attorney and Board Member Barry Wilkerson said the communication needs to be done with USD 383 and other school districts about them helping out with funding.
His code name's Jackal. He's an exceptional assassin.
Streaming now on Peacock.
He will kill again, unless we stop him.
Academy Award winner Eddie Redmayne.
You're paying me to kill him. I am charging you for getting away.
The Jackal's here. Look at the exits.
BAFTA Award winner Lashana Lynch.
I will find him, and I will kill him myself.
I like to win.
So do I.
The Day of the Jackal. Streaming now, only on Peacock.
With Lululemon, the real gift happens when they're living in it. When you give the fan favorite Everywhere belt bag, the real gift is... And when the ultra-soothing Rest Feel slides are the gift, you're really giving them... This holiday, Lululemon makes it easy to give little luxuries that go beyond. Open the moment. Shop now at Lululemon.com.
For SROs.
One of those discussions to start having with USD 383, the other school districts, and they're not the only one in Riley County, but the other school districts as to whether they can, supplement us, help us out with the school resource officers. I know that was brought up years ago when Director Watson was here.
Board members took no action on their matter at this week's meeting. More on the day's headlines can be found at our website, newsradiokman.com and themercury.com.
Good morning, I'm Mitch Fortner with sports. Last night, K-State men's basketball shook off a disappointing 25-23 first-half lead with a 49-point second half to beat Mississippi Valley State by 18 points, 74-56 Tuesday night in Bramlage Coliseum. K-State improves to 3-1 in the season with just 36% shooting on the night, including just 3 of 23 from 3. Junior center Ugonna Onyenso paced the Cats in double figures with a career-high 16 points. Senior Coleman Hawkins did about everything but shoot the ball well. He had a career-high tying 13 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals, but he finished with just 2 points, 1 for 11 from the floor in 32 minutes. K-State now 3-1, and now they head to the U.S. Virgin Islands. They leave this morning to participate in the Paradise Jam starting on Friday at 7 p.m., against 4-0 George Washington. Also last night, Hunter Dickinson had 15 points and 15 rebounds. And number 1 Kansas, they shrugged off a sluggish start to beat UNC Wilmington 84-66 for Bill Self's 800th career win. KU is now 5-0 on the season. Second game in 3 days for the K-State women's basketball team, ranked 10th in the nation, as they play tonight, hosting 2-3 Milwaukee. Tip-off tonight at 6:30, pregame coverage at 6 on News Radio KMAN and Sunny 102.5. Well, K-State football is no longer ranked in the latest college football playoff poll after its loss to Arizona State Saturday. Boise State moved ahead of BYU, putting the Broncos in position to receive a first-round bye ahead of a Big 12 champion. BYU shockingly dropped 8 spots after losing to KU last weekend, from 6 to 14. The top 5 is unchanged. 1 through 5 is Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, and Indiana. For the Big 12, number 14 BYU, 16 is Colorado. Arizona State takes the 21st spot, and number 22 is Iowa State. I'm Mitch Fortner with sports.